So let's begin now. Right. Well, good morning, students of class 10. You are welcome back to the e-classes now. Let us begin our classes in democratic politics. We are doing federalism. Federalism means division of power between various levels of the government. As we have already learned in class 9 that India is a vast country and we follow federalism. We have a federal government. The government at the various levels, central government, state government and local self-government at various levels. We call it vertical, and each government has different types of powers. The powers are not equal. That is vertical, and we have already learnt about horizontal, different organs of the government such as legislative, executive and judiciary. They are at the same level and that is called horizontal. They have the same equal power. So they check each other. That is called check and balance. The executive appoint judges, and later on the judges, once they are appointed, they will ask the questions to the executive. They will check the executive. If they misuse power, the judges will check. So in this way we call it check and balance. So we have already learned about that. Now today we will learn about some key features of federalism. So key feature of federalism. There are altogether 7 points over here. So let's go through one by one and try to understand. There are 2 or more levels of the government. In a federal country, a country enjoys federal government, they have various levels of the government. If a country is very small, they have only one government. Okay? And if the country is big in size, they have 2 governments, central government and state government. We have already learned in Belgium. They share power. But in Sri Lanka, there is unitary, they refuse to share power, and there was a problem. So we have learned about it. Now here, there are 2 or more. Sometimes, if the country is big, we have central government and state government, 2 levels of the government. And if it is even bigger, like India, we have 3. Central government, state government and local self-government. That is panchayats in the villages and municipalities in the cities. So that is 3rd. So each has their own jurisdiction, area of taxation, area of administration. They have their own jurisdiction and everything, the powers are mentioned in the constitution. So that is number 1. They govern the same citizen. They govern the same citizen of the country. So one is central government for all the country and one is state government, that is for some region or regional government for certain areas. So they govern the same citizen, but each level means central government or state government or local self-government. Each level has its own jurisdiction, that is area. Jurisdiction in matters of legalization, legislation. Legislation means making laws for the areas. Taxation, to collect tax, and administration, to rule or govern. So you can see that they govern the same citizen and each level has its own jurisdiction, area and matters of legislation, matters of making laws for the area, taxation as well as administration. That is number 2. Now let's go through number 3. The jurisdiction of the various level of government, the area of the level of the government are clarified in the constitution. It is clearly mentioned in the constitution. The existence means remaining. The existence and authority is constitutionally guaranteed. That means the constitution has given them the power to administer, collect taxes as well as make laws for the areas or for the country. So that is constitutionally guaranteed. So that means the central government cannot force the state government to do certain things. So they have their own laws and the laws they make for the area, suitable for that area, and that is the power is provided by the constitution. Now here number 4, the fundamental provision of the Constitution. The Constitution provides lot of powers, as well as everything is mentioned over there. The fundamental provision of the Constitution cannot be changed by one level of the government. The power of the local self-government, the power of the state government is mentioned in the Constitution. So the rules and regulations or provision cannot be changed by one level of the government. They cannot change. Once it is made, they cannot change. If they have to change, if any change need the consent of both the level of the government. If they have to change the rules and regulation, then both the government has to sit together and they have to solve the problem. So one government or the state government cannot change the rules and regulations which is provided by the Constitution. So that means fundamental provision of the Constitution cannot be changed by one level of the government. One level means other, it is a state government or local self-government, cannot be changed. Any change require the consent of both the level of the government. Then only it can be changed or altered or amended. The highest court, that is the Supreme Court, the highest court of the country settle means solve, settle the dispute that may arise between the different level of the government, or that may arise between the citizen and the government, or two state governments, or state government or central government. If any dispute arises, the highest court or the Supreme Court will solve the problem or settle the dispute. They interpret. The highest court of the country settle the dispute that may arise between the governments. So it is the Supreme Court that will take the course. Now here, number 6, sources of revenue, income. To run a government, you need the money. So, and from where the money comes? The money comes from the taxes. So, sources of revenue or taxes for each level, whether it is a panchayat, whether it is a municipality, whether it is a state government or a central government, sources of revenue for each level are clearly mentioned. It is specified, clearly mentioned to ensure, make sure financial autonomy. Autonomy means to run the government, so that if they collect the taxes, so that tax money can be used by the government for the welfare of the people of that area. So, number 7, federal system. Federal means division of power. I have already mentioned about it. Federal system has dual objective. Dual means two. Federal system has dual objective. Two objectives. What are the two objectives? It has dual objectives. One is to safeguard means protect the citizen. To safeguard and promote unity of the country. Federal system has got two objectives. One objective is to promote unity, safeguard and unity among the people in a country. And second, accommodate. Accommodate means include all the backward classes also while making the laws, while decision making. So no community should be left out. That's why we have reserve constituencies. We have learned in class 9 reserve constituencies. So accommodate means to include, accommodate regional diversities. Regional diversities. In our country we have various social groups. Some are forward, some are middle class, some are backward. So all the people must be included in the decision making. No society should be left out. That is called accommodate all the social groups. They must have their representative. So let the representative come in the parliament and they put up their problem, so that the government will solve the problem. So no society should be left out. Accommodate all the regional diversity. That is the dual objective of federalism, to safeguard and promote unity in a country and accommodate regional diversity. So that is about the key feature of federalism. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class and continue about this federalism. That's all for today. Thank you very much for your presence and your attention. So that's all for today.